Wednesday was a bit of a big news day. Lots of different bombshells. We had the Bob Woodward book bombshell. We had the whistleblower report bombshell. And I think that, to be perfectly honest, is a little bit more important than what happened with the Woodward book. So let's start today with the whistleblower report. According to this whistleblower report from the Department of Homeland Security, Acting Secretary Chad Wolf actually instructed employees at DHS earlier this year to modify their intelligence briefings to fit with Donald Trump's political agenda. Several specific items. First and foremost, he told them to downplay the threat of Russian election interference, which I don't care which side of the Russiagate you fall on, there is no denying. There is evidence that says that, yes, Russia has in fact meddled with our elections. Most of it in the form of buying Facebook ads, posting memes, bots on Twitter, whatever it is, but that is still technically considered election interference. So Chad Wolf wanted staffers to downplay that to Donald Trump because Russia's helping him, but instead hype up China and Iran because China is essentially doing the same thing Russia is, except they're doing it to help Biden. So they wanted to hype up what China's doing because China's got to be their big bad enemy. Whether it's trade, the pandemic, or election interference, they're trying to pin every single thing on China. And so that's why Chad Wolf wanted them to always be the bad guys in the daily intelligence briefings, but not tell him that Russia was doing the same thing except to a greater extent. Now, that was just one part of it. Another specific example given in this whistleblower's report, a whistleblower who, by the way, claims that he was retaliated against, moved to a different post. So that, if factual, is also illegal. But Mr. Wolf also told his staffers at Homeland Security to omit in their reports the damning evidence of how horrible and how dangerous white supremacists are in the United States, and overhype, essentially, is exaggerate the threat of Antifa, because that is what suited Donald Trump's political agenda. That has been his political agenda all summer when we saw these protests taking place. He's trying to tell us that this is all Antifa. They're out there smashing buildings, starting fires, doing all this horrible stuff, bringing all this violence to our streets, when in reality, the Department of Homeland Security, and we know this from a report earlier this week, Department of Homeland Security, FBI, and police offices across the country have all willingly admitted in their own documents that white supremacy is in fact the greater threat, in fact, the greatest threat to the livelihoods of American citizens. Antifa is not on that list. Well, that talking point and the data doesn't exactly mesh well with Donald Trump's talking points, so they changed it. They edited it. They made it look like what the president was saying and feeling and believing was accurate, when in reality it was the exact opposite. Folks, I don't know if you realize this, but the Department of Homeland Security, that's the group of people in charge of homeland, meaning where we live, security, meaning keeping us safe. And they're actively lying and distorting the data for the President of the United States so he can go out there and sell a particular political agenda. That is what we are dealing with in the highest levels of the government today. Chad Wolf, the acting secretary, because he's not even the permanent one, needs to be subpoenaed immediately. And I don't want to see any of these wishy-washy, mealy-mouthed subpoenas from the House. I want to see full-blown, enforced, we will throw you in the little tiny jail underneath Congress if you do not comply subpoenas. That's what I want to see. Unfortunately, that'll never happen. We're going to get some strong statements from some Democrats. Oh, that makes me so mad. He shouldn't do that. And that's it. That's it. That's going to be the extent of what's going to happen to Mr. Chad Wolf for what he has done. This isn't good enough. The right is totally bonkers. And they're fascists. They're absolute fascists, propping up a wannabe dictator like Donald Trump. But unfortunately, on the other side, the Democrats are damn near useless. They're not flexing the muscles that they have. They're not exercising the powers that they have. So what frickin' good are they? The damn country is falling apart. The government has been taken over by the fascists. And we need somebody, anybody, with a little bit of authority to come in and straighten this crap out. That's why we have the checks and balances. Somebody out there does have this authority. It's just that nobody is actually willing to use it at the moment. Maybe that'll change. Of course, I've been thinking that through a lot of stories this year, so I have very little hope that that's actually going to happen.